Hello everyone, I've just landed in Athens from Chios, and I made a quick stop to check out this beautiful wall painting. There's an interesting story behind it from the artist, which I'll link below. My second stop is this wonderfully eccentric looking church by the sea, the Agios Nikolaos Church of Vouliagmeni. I am absolutely starving right now, but I happen to be in one of Athens' wealthier suburbs, so the food prices aren't exactly budget friendly. I'm going to hang in there and save my appetite until I get to Lavrio, my final destination for today. So for now, let's enjoy the sights and continue the journey. I picked up this colorful vegetable flavored pastina from Chios. I was going to save it until I flew back home, but I couldn't wait, so I'm using it to make a simple vegetable soup with potatoes, finished with a squeeze of fresh lemon. For now, I don't seem to get tired of potato soup, so I'm enjoying it while the craving lasts. Anyhow, I love the place where I'll be spending the next 2 nights. It's about 20 minutes drive from the port of Kythnos, and the host has been incredibly kind and friendly. I can tell they work very hard to keep everything well maintained. I'm looking forward to exploring Kythnos soon. Good morning, everyone. Today, I will tell you what happened between landing in Athens and making my way to Lavrio port. I landed at the airport around noon, and instead of driving straight to Lavrio, I wanted to make a stop at the old train wall painting in Koropi. After that, I continued on to the Agios Nikolaos Church of Vouliagmeni. Along the way, my Apple CarPlay kept working on and off, which made me a little nervous. I also ended up taking the wrong route, the coastal route along the Athens Riviera instead of a more direct route. It wasn't wrong, and it didn't really matter as I was still heading in the right direction, but it took much longer than expected. Rather than stopping for a souvlaki or something to eat, I decided to keep driving. It was a truly scenic route, and I would have loved to film some of it. However, I'm still quite new to vlogging, and sometimes I find myself more focused on getting to my destination than setting up camera shots. When that happens, I remind myself that it's okay. Not every moment needs to be filmed. By the time I reached Lavrio, I found a large grocery store, Cyclades, where I picked up some snacks. Around the same time, my host messaged me to let me know that there was no electricity. The entire area had been without power all day, and she had been anxiously waiting for it to come back on. When I arrived at the accommodation, she was waiting outside. Since I didn't have any plans for the evening, she suggested taking a walk around the neighborhood and showing me the Chios crater. She was born and raised in Lavrio, recently retired from her full-time job, and since started running a guest house. I got along well with my host, so we decided to head down to the port and grab some souvlaki together. It was her treat, which was very kind of her. I think she felt a little bad about the power outage, but I told her not to worry because it was completely out of her control. Luckily, while we were eating, she received a call from her husband letting her know that the electricity had finally come back on. Sometimes the unexpected moments end up being some of the nicest memories of a trip. The next morning, I checked out early to catch my ferry to Kythnos. I should have booked my ticket through Ferry Hopper, but I hadn't. At the ticket office, the employee struggled with a weak Wi-Fi connection while processing my card payment. Thankfully, he was very patient and kept reassuring me that I would not miss my ferry. Still, I learned my lesson. Next time, I will make sure to book my ticket online well in advance and not wait until the last minute, especially since the system doesn't allow online bookings so close to departure. Eventually, I boarded the ferry and enjoyed a relaxing journey to the beautiful island of Kythnos, where I am right now and where the next part of the adventure begins. I drove all the way down to the southern part of Kythnos to visit Panagia Kanala, which is where I was just before this. This beautiful church was once part of a monastery and is named after the channel or Kanala between Kythnos and the neighboring island of Serifos. Serifos lies just south of Kythnos. Panagia Kanala is considered one of the most important pilgrimage sites in the Cyclades. Two major festivals are held here every year, one on August 15th and another on September 8th. The August 15th celebration commemorates the discovery of the icon by local fishermen and includes culture and religious festivals. The September 8th festival is held in honor of the Virgin Mary. As you've probably noticed, there was practically nobody around when I visited. Even the cafes and restaurants nearby were closed. I may have arrived a little too early for the season. Still, the quiet atmosphere made the visit much more peaceful and gave me a chance to appreciate the beauty of the place without any crowds. My original plan for today was to visit Kolona Beach, one of the most popular and photographed beaches in Kythnos. However, I missed a small road I was supposed to take at the intersection near my accommodation and just kept driving. Rather than turning around, I decided to go with the flow and change my plans. Instead of starting in the middle of the island, I drove all the way down to the southern tip and began my itinerary from there, gradually making my way back north. Sometimes those little navigation mistakes ends up shaping the day in unexpected ways. In this case, it gave me the opportunity to see parts of Kythnos that I might not have visited otherwise. Good morning again, everyone. I've just checked out of my accommodation in Loutra, and before catching my ferry later today, I'm going to spend a few hours wandering around Kythnos Chora. My friend in Athens told me not to miss this place because it's one of the most beautiful spots on the island. Looking around ready, I think she might be right. So, are you ready to join me as we explore this charming Cycladic village? Bame, let's go. The ferry ride was very pleasant, and I made it back to my guest house in Lavrio in the early evening. I'm taking it easy now. Tomorrow I'll be getting up at 5 in the morning to catch another ferry for a day trip. So after supper, I'll be heading straight to my bed for an early night. There was something special about this place when I first came across it on booking.com. That's why I decided to base myself here and explore the surrounding area. I'm glad I trusted my intuition because it turned out to be absolutely the right choice. I feel so comfortable staying here, surrounded by nature and forest. But more than anything else, the host and her family have been wonderful. Their kindness has made this day even more memorable. This has been the longest vlog I've created since starting my channel, and I hope you enjoyed it and didn't find it too long. Rather than making several separate videos about the places I visited upon landing in Athens and then about Kythnos, I decided to compile everything into a single vlog, and I think it worked out quite well. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you've stayed with me all the way to the end. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Have you been to any of the places featured in this video? Let me know. For now, I'm calling it a day. Take care, and I will see you in the next adventure.